Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Alberta News and Views. On April 19th, Justin Trudeau held a press conference, and in this press conference, he said that it's fine if the premiers and the provinces don't want to work with his government with housing, densification, and rezoning. That's fine. He says he's just going to work around them, work with the municipalities directly that are ambitious. He feels that because he is the prime minister, he can do whatever he wants because Canadians are asking him and begging him to ask him to end this housing crisis. It is unbelievable. This is Trudeauing. Here is a perfect example of Trudeauing. Now, I'm just going to show you this small clip as a refresher because Danielle Smith was just asked about this, and we're going to watch her response. I'm telling all of you, we are in very, very dangerous territory. Day after day after day, it's just craziness. A breakdown of government, democracy, and infrastructure. Fires are already starting. Trains, huge historic buildings on fire. Politicians are doing whatever they want, and they've lost the crowd. Jody Gondek, mayor of Calgary, held their town hall meeting, their council, on the rezoning, and it was an absolute disaster. These politicians are activists. They are not politicians anymore. They are working for themselves and this controlled demolition of what they considered a 50s, 60s, and 70s old-fashioned lifestyle that nobody wants. It's unbelievable what we're dealing with. Listen to Justin Trudeau give you a perfect example of Trudeauing.
That's the way the Federation should be working. But when I hear provinces upset because we're signing deals with big cities, putting money in the city's coffers so that they can increase density, so they can build more homes faster, invest in affordability, I know that's what needs to happen. And provinces that are not being ambitious on housing, well, people in their provinces still deserve to have solutions to the housing crisis, even if the province doesn't want to step up with the same level of ambition. So I am unabashed about saying I am ambitious to solve problems for Canadians right across the country. I am ambitious about investing in solutions to make sure our economy is fair for every generation. I'm going to work where I can in partnership with provinces that want to, like BC and others have, and places where they want to block the kinds of investments that are going to help Canadians. I'm just going to try and figure out ways to help Canadians directly as necessary. I'd always rather work with provinces, but if we have to, I will go around them and be there for Canadians because this economy deserves young Canadians getting the support they need.
You know, being from Alberta and watching videos of energy poverty in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and all the nonsense over there. Imagine if Alberta thought this way. Oh, if the federal government doesn't want us to build pipelines to New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, that's fine. We're going to build pipelines anyway, because that's what Canadians want. Oh, what's that? You're going to come and confiscate our guns? No, you're not. That's fine. We're not going to give up their guns because we're going to make our own gun laws. You see, that's how this works. Justin Trudeau preaches unity, but does whatever he wants. And he thinks that only he can get away with it, that he's just going to do it because this is what he's done his whole life, which is why it's so important. You never elect a drama teacher, a dropout drama teacher, a ski instructor, a bouncer, a whitewater rafting instructor. He's accomplished nothing and wrecked everything. Here's the best premier in Canada, Danielle Smith. Listen to this.
To us.
We'll go to Jonathan and then Catherine.
Jonathan Bradley, Western Centre. My question's for the Premier and it's off topic. So Prime Minister Trudeau said at a press conference on Friday he's open to go around the provinces to support Canadians if he has to. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't think that is the spirit of cooperative federalism that we're looking for. There's no need for the Prime Minister to think he has to work around provinces on areas of provincial jurisdiction any more than it would be reasonable for me to say I would do a workaround on the Prime Minister on federal areas of jurisdiction. It just simply doesn't make sense. What he should do is he should come to the table on areas where he has an interest in funding and work collaboratively with us to be able to identify common areas and common ways that we would be able to achieve our joint targets. That's exactly what the Provincial Priorities Act is all about. It's asserting that we have the authority to, as the majority shareholder or the creator of a variety of these entities, to make sure that they're in alignment with our policy direction and that it's not circumvented by the federal government. So it's disappointing that he said that, because I can tell you I'm not the only one. If you go back and look at the Council of the Federation after our last meeting and the one before, it is a constant refrain from the premiers that the federal government is using its federal spending power to undermine provincial jurisdiction. It's not appropriate.
Well, you have indicated to Trudeau on many occasions to stop interfering with provincial jurisdiction. He continues to do so. Why do you think that is?
Well, he said that his job is boring. And I guess maybe if his job is so boring, he should step aside so somebody else can do the job. Or he should run for premier if he's more interested in the premier's areas of jurisdiction. Exactly. But I think that there's plenty for the federal government to do. I think that they have an historic opportunity to do genuine reconciliation with First Peoples. I was very glad to see that they announced a $5 billion National Indigenous Opportunities Corp. Very much inspired, I would say, by what we've already done in Alberta. But there's work he needs to do to make sure that he's addressing healthcare concerns on reserve, mental health and addiction concerns on reserve, Indigenous policing on reserves. We've got national defense that requires his attention. We've got international trade agreements that require his attention. We've got immigration that requires his attention. There's all kinds of things that the Prime Minister could be focused on rather than trying to micromanage provincial affairs.
Thank you.
He's a brat. He's one of them brats that takes your toys and he doesn't want to share. It's so true. He takes taxes. He takes tax money. And the only way that he'll give it back to you is with strings attached, or you do what he says. It's extortion. That's all it is. He's a brat. I got to show you something here with housing. I'm going to be talking about this on Substack because it's going to take me a while, but it's very important. So this is Dr. Mike P. Moffat. And he is like a housing guru. He is a housing expert that the Trudeau government brings in to advise them on housing, on what to do. He is very smart. I watched a 2-hour-long interview with him and another guy, his partner, I think, about housing. And it just broke down absolutely everything wrong with housing in Canada. So his posts, they're pretty dry, I'll admit, but so important. Just this part right here is what I want to show you. Even if we could build homes for next to nothing, we are not going to bring back affordability for middle-class Ontario families unless we tackle high development charges and land costs. This statement says everything that you need to know about housing in Canada. The way we build houses, land, absolutely everything. He says it's been disregarded and taken advantage for so long now. It's done. And this is why. The land is so expensive because of zoning, right? And charges and land costs and for the middle class family. They won't be able to get any houses. So I'll be talking about that later. And he gives a complete breakdown, dollars and cents, pretty much, on why the middle class will never, ever own a home. Shouldn't say never own a home, but it's extremely hard to own a home, and it'll never be affordable and on par with how much money they have. I'll keep you updated with as much as I can when I can. It's absolutely nuts what's going on in Edmonton, Calgary. I'm going to start focusing more just on Alberta because there's lots of local people wanting to know what to do and what's actually going on in the cities because they have no idea. Media is being blocked so bad now, it's crazy. Like, share, and take care. Follow me on Substack and Spotify.